Good afternoon, everyone, or is it good evening? I never know at this time of night, or is it day, or is it afternoon? I'm sure I did this yesterday as well. It is great to have your company. This is the Craft Store, and my name's Janice Phillips, and we are live all the way through until 10 p.m. tonight. Then we go on to repeat. So do you know what? 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, we are crafting and giving you inspiration. We have got a show lined up for you full of the most gorgeous fabrics, batik fabrics as well. If you've never seen batik fabrics, all my days, we've got a perfect guest to tell you all about them. We've got the lovely Josie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Janice. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really good. I'm looking forward to the show because I love batik fabrics. Great. There's something different each and every time when you bring your fabulous designs, your beautiful fabrics as well. But can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about the company, first of all, just in case we've got new viewers and people haven't seen you before?
Absolutely. So Funkyneedlework, our strapline is clever tools for clever quilts, because you're the quilter and you are clever and you make wonderful things. So we specialise in bright fabrics, bold fabrics. We like batiks, they're really great. We make rulers to make your design life a bit easier, so that you can make really, really clever things to impress all your quilty friends, and that's what we do.
And I love that. I love that. Making it easy and also getting the right tools for the trade. Right. Let's show you what we've got on offer. We've got some great project packs for you. So the fabric, again, you've got those beautiful batik fabrics that we've got included here. And these are already pre-cut for the patterns, aren't they, Josie?
Yes, these are in bundles. They're in sort of collections of colours, if you like. So the patterns that we've got, that this bundle goes together, there are 4 patterns in it. And each of them, the colours will vary slightly, but they will be aimed towards the pattern that you choose.
Yes, perfect. Let's have a look at the patterns. So you get all 4. You're saving £10. It's just $79.98, but we're going to divide the cost into 2 months. It's interest-free payment. It's really easy to set up. Head to the website, just tick the box, and that's it. You're good to go. So just $39.99 today. If you're a Freedom member, there's no P&P to pay. If you're not a Freedom member, then you P&P on top of your first month, and then after that, $39.99. So the patterns, well, with these, you can make wall hangings, you can place these in the middle of a quilt if you want to, maybe a tablecloth. The choice, it could be a cushion, the choice is yours. But let's go through the patterns that we've got, Josie. Absolutely. Starting with the cityscape. Love this.
So this is city, and this is great because if you like something like a centerpiece for a table, or you want to hang just something a little bit more like a portal on your wall, a round centerpiece like that is really great. I like it because you can mix up different things. So you can mix up the lead, you can do lots of stitching over the edges, lots of different batiks in there, and you don't have to stick to, and there are no rules about the colours that you use. The buildings can be any colour, the sun could be whatever colour you wanted it to be. It doesn't have to be the colours that we've chosen there, and it just really works with the fabric as well.
I really like that one. It's almost like a modern day twist on the rabbit hole theory from Alice in Wonderland, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that is amazing. Love that one. Right, the next pattern that we've got for you, remember this is all 4. Now this is a really interesting one. And I think this is going to be a beautiful design, especially with all the batik fabrics that you're getting in here. You've got your fish. That could be seaweed. I'm seeing a sun in there. It could be anything you want, but it is that lovely sea theme.
It is. Now, that's the one that we're going to show you today. So we're going to show you that from scratch. And this one, I think that's a sea anemone.
Yeah.
It could be whatever you want it to be, really. Whatever floats your boat, literally.
Quite literally, quite literally. That really is a gorgeous pattern. Now I'm going to go through the pattern. I'm just going to place that there for you. The next one along, this is a nice interesting one. You can see this. There you go. Is this the garden?
This is garden.
How lovely.
And again, we've got one of those almost finished, because I wanted to show you how to use the very, very end part of this. Now, you might not think that that looks like a garden, but it will do by the time you've finished playing with it. And the reason I like this pattern is we put these together so that you don't have to, you can use them in different ways. Yeah. You don't have to use them as one flower. You can divide it, you can get almost a checkerboard effect on there, that you'll use it again in different ways, and you can use the same pattern over and over on one larger quilt if you want to, and get a different flower every time you do it.
I feel like it's school teacher with like showing you the flip chart that I'm going through. Now we're going to take a look at how we use all of these patterns, but this one I think is just tremendously popular, and that's the bee pattern. And we also have a sample of this at the back. This is gorgeous.
I love bees. Bees are the friendliest creatures,
aren't they?
They are. I mean, not everybody likes bees, but I love bees. I think that they are very well. We have to look after them because if they go, we go.
Yeah, we do. We do. I stroke bees.
Great.
Yeah. I love. Oh no, that sounds really odd. You know, only if the bee wants me to. But sometimes if they land next to me, I'll just give a little stroke, and they're lovely. They are absolutely gorgeous creatures, and that is a beautiful design. It really is, and it's brought to life by those batik fabrics. So you get in the kit 4 of your patterns, 4 sets of your fabric as well, and that's going to build up those beautiful designs. What a great project. You've got £10 saving on that. That's 4 projects. That could be 1 a month. It could be 1 per friend or 1 per family member. You could give these to a family member to do, or you could do it and then give it to the family member.
Great project for a quilting group.
That's a great idea.
Divide them among your quilting group friends and then all come back, because they will all be very different when they come back together again.
Yeah, they certainly will. Now, if you just want to choose 2, maybe your budget doesn't set to all 4, we have a pick and mix for any 2. So which 2 are you going to go for? You get the fabrics and, of course, you get the pattern as well. So the first one, you could go for the city. You've got the sea, you've got the garden and the bee. So you choose, you decide, saving £15 on a set of 2, excuse me, as a pick and mix, and you can divide the cost of that into 2. So that's 2 payments of £22.50. That is an excellent deal. Now, if you just want the patterns, maybe you've got your own fabric at home. Maybe you've got some odds and ends. I nearly said something else then, odds and ends. That you want to put to your patterns, then you can just go for the patterns. They're $18.99. You get to pick any 2. If it was me, I would go for the garden and the city. I love the bee, but for me, I like the garden and the city. It is, yeah, to have those 2 side by side, especially if you're hanging them on the wall or something like that. Yes. Absolutely fantastic. Love them. Love them. Right. We have got your strips and your block bundle. Wow, these are going to a different level on fabric, aren't they?
They're fantastic. Now, these are printed cottons, which is unusual for us, but they're called poured colour. Poured
colour. It's almost like, you know, when you get the effect of like oil on water,
sort of
when
marbling,
you put, like that marbling effect. Yeah. These are absolutely
so we only got
stunning.
these this week.
Did you?
We did. We only got them this week, and I wrote a pattern the day I got them for these, because and I made the quilt to go, which is hanging up behind me, to go with them.
You do get that pattern to make that quilt. I do like that, and you also get some clips as well to help you.
You do. You get all the patterns that we sell. They all come with little clips and things to keep all the little pieces together.
Have you got a little clip there to show us what it is?
Yes. So you get 2. You get little clips. You get big paper clips, which are very useful for strips.
Yep.
And you get, if I put them on there, and you get little bulldog clips, tiny little bulldog clips, really great for doing this kind of stuff. And it just keeps them all together. Keeps all the little bits together. Yeah.
I love that quilt. I like the pleats that you've got in there. I've never really seen that.
Well, they're sort of twisted so that each pleat has a different colour on each side. So this is why we've called it blocks and strips, because I wrote it for these fabrics to go together. Your strips are already there. All you have to do is the 3 pieces of fabric that you've got is to cut it into the right size blocks. It tells you in the pattern exactly the dimensions.
Yeah. And that will be the size of the quilt you make?
Yes.
Wow.
And actually, you will have spare strips over so that you could make a border around the outside and make it bigger.
Stunning, isn't it? Even if you've got just some plain fabric to put in the background, it would really pick that out. Yes. That is, I love that, love that. 2 payments of £28. If you want to go for this, it's 768428 is your item number. Now, we have a flexi payment on that, so you can divide the cost into 2 payments of 28, or you can pay for it in 1 sitting if you wish. We do have some other items on the show. You can head to the website and see all of those. We've got a pick and mix. We've got a hover quilt as well that we focused on last night. That's still available. You can buy the top, the backing and the wadding for that. We've also got some rules on the show, and we've got some great fabric packs as well. You can head to the website and see everything available to you, and we will see more as the show goes on. Now, if you have any makes that you've made from any of the patterns from Funky Needlework, then please send in your pictures. We would love to see them. It is studio@thecraftstore.com. Right, Josie, let's go to the first demo.
Brilliant. Okay, so I've skipped ahead a little bit because I didn't think you needed me to show you how to trace. So you lay out your pattern, iron it if it's crinkled. It might, you know, get a little knock if you've had it a while, and in the back of your drawer. So iron it out flat, and then put your. I've used stitch and tear, which you can buy, and this is a wonderful stuff. That's how easy it is to tear, but it's very robust. And I've used stitch and tear. You can use a very fine cotton if you want to, and I've just used an ordinary lead pencil on the top of it as well. So, so this is essentially the C pattern. You can see how really rough this is. It doesn't really matter how close you are, because this is the kind of thing that nobody's ever going to see the lines, and it's going to be great. So I'm going to dive in and pick some fabrics. How about that one? Does that look like a nice C? I think it does. Okay, so rather than look at a fish, what you do is you look at a shape. So let's look at a nice large shape. So this shape here is quite a large shape. So you're going to look and put this behind it. Make sure that the fabric covers the whole shape. Yes, it does. And go straight to your sewing machine.
Okay.
I'm going to put, because this is a big piece, I'm just going to put 2 pins in it because I don't want my fabric to twist. Oh, that's not. There we go. Lovely. I'll just hold it in one place. And I'm going to just follow the line. The thread I'm using it's actually the rainbow thread. I've become obsessed with this thread.
Yes.
Because
that's actually in the finishing kit for the hover quilts. And is it 7,000?
3,000.
3,000
yards.
Wow.
There's no well, I mean, it's no wonder that I've become obsessed with this stuff, because I'm never going to get through it.
You're going to be using it for a long time.
Yeah. So I'm going to just follow the line, but instead of going all the way down the line, I'm going to stop when it gets to the next line. So rather than treating it as parts of a fish or something else, you're following the outer line, the first line that you come to.
Okay.
There we go. And when I get to a corner, I leave the needle in and just twiddle around a bit. Now, you see, I'm really quite far off the line on this, but it's okay.
And that doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter one little bit, because the other thing is that when we've finished, you're going to cover all the edges. So if you looked at the seascape, not the seascape, the city,
yeah,
there's lead, or I've done a satin stitch over the edge of it. So all of this stitching and this thread that you're using now is going to be covered up.
Just look at that sun. Is that a satin stitch that's been used?
Yes.
Did you do that by machine or hand?
Machine. So all I did was I put machine onto zigzag.
Yeah.
And then because I can on my machine, I shortened it.
Showing off, Josie?
Well, you've got to love your machine, haven't you?
You have.
So I shortened the stitch.
Yeah.
And I think I narrowed it for some of the smaller parts as well, but you don't have to. And if you find that you can't, if you've got a very basic machine, there's nothing wrong with that. Very basic machine is very serviceable.
Yep.
If you find that you've got just all you can do is you can go round and round again with your zigzag a couple of times.
Yeah.
And you'll get the same. If you use the rainbow thread, it'll look fantastic.
Yeah, you've used the rainbow threads on this one. I was just having a look at that, the different variation of colour. Isn't it lovely? And rainbows, it's such a lovely theme, and they're such lovely colours, and it's fabulous to get colour back into our lives.
It's fab. I'm just, do you know, because I was talking, I forgot to put the foot back down. So I had to take it out then, so I'll just do one more little back in. This is actually a really useful thing to know. If you've got a machine and you accidentally leave the foot up and start stitching, always take it out.
Okay. Because
if you don't, you will always get a knot in it underneath when you start again. Guaranteed, every time. Lovely. You see how bendy this is when you're going around the machine? Because although it tears when you want it to, it's robust the rest of the time.
I was going to say, that's the fabric that, you know, when you buy a T-shirt that's been embroidered onto, sometimes you've got it on the back, haven't you?
Like a stabiliser.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Turn that pin out. And when I get to these tiny little bits,
you
can play with it a little bit, and you don't have to dip all the way into the crisscross lines. You can if you want to. That's why I like this kind of thing, because there are no rules.
You know what? Could you be able to do this, do you think, by hand if you wanted to? Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be a nice hand project.
It's a nice size to travel around with. All you need to do is make sure that you have a nice sharp needle, and it'll be fine. And it'll be fine.
You're right.
I'm really sorry.
Did you just see that,
I
Josie?
did see that, yes.
Sorry, I'll explain to everyone at home. Our director, Jimmy, was getting a shot of the cityscape, and I was just chatting with Josie, and this is what happened, everyone.
You see, you shouldn't look up when you're sewing.
And Josie looked up. But sorry about that, Josie. I didn't mean to go into shock.
Composed myself. Right, okay. So we've got this fabulous shape here. I'm going to trim off my spaghetti as I go, because I didn't on one of them and then I regretted it. So spaghetti, there we go, trimmed. Turn it over.
Yep.
Now I've got applique scissors. If you haven't got applique scissors, I'll show you how to do it with that as well.
Oh, what's the difference?
So applique scissors are... so that's an ordinary pair of sewing scissors that I use, and this is a applique scissors. They've got a kind of a duck bill.
Yeah.
The flat part goes underneath, and the flatter that is against the table, the closer you can get to the stitching when you're cutting.
Okay.
So if I do it like that, so you hold it with these fingers and push down with this one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different from other scissors.
Isn't it brilliant how things like that have been invented?
I just love it.
That people have thought, oh, need a different pair of scissors for that, and they've actually gone out and done it.
Yeah, I mean, you could do this with nail scissors or something like that if you didn't have it, but these are a worthwhile investment. These kind of scissors are the only ones that I don't share.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing the other sewing scissors, but I don't share my applique scissors. I'm very precious about them. Is that really? Oh, the other thing that I need to tell you is the way to stop arguments about scissors in the house, whether they're fabric scissors. So actually, this one hasn't, but I usually tie a little bit of fabric around the handle.
That's a good idea.
And then everybody knows, and then you can shout at them properly if they still use them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you mark your scissors.
Yeah, mark them with a pair of a little odd of fabric.
And you'll know whose scissors are whose.
Yes.
And there'll be no crossing of scissors.
Right, okay. So here we've got a little fishtail in there. Now you can't get applique scissors in there, so you turn them round and cut into it, and then you can use that bit there to cut that up. And again, I need to do this to get right into the corner, because you want all of this out. You don't want this bulk in there spoiling your quilt.
So are they shaped like that so it keeps the fabric straight as you're cutting them?
Well, it means that the blade, because the blade is quite, I mean, these are really very sharp. The blade is thin, and it means that it can get close to the edge, and you're not going to catch the sewing stitch.
Do you know, I think in surgery there's a pair of scissors like that. I think there is, you know.
They are very like my old nursey scissors.
Like your what scissors?
Old nursey scissors.
Were you a nurse?
A long time ago, yeah.
Like what kind of specialist? Like a midwife or a nurse?
Oh, a nurse.
I'm right though. There are scissors like that, aren't there?
Are.
Yeah. I don't know what they were for.
It's so that you can't cut people.
That's probably what they're for then. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know you were a nurse. Do you know, I've got a real bad back. I don't know what you're doing after the show.
That is why you don't tell people.
And it's just round the back of my neck there. I've just got this thing. If you could just, you know, after the show, no zooming in on it, but you know, if you sort of like, you know,
I will take a look at that
there.
for you, no problem. It's quite a while since I did anything like that, and take your life in your hands. But yeah, sure.
That's anything I'll do at the moment, Josie. I tell you, I'll take anything I can get.
Excellent, excellent. Right. Oh, this is a good big piece to be cutting around. So I'm going to just show you with the other scissors how to do this now. So if you haven't got applique scissors, fold back that piece and then hold it back with your fingers so that you don't cut it off.
Brilliant. They've just had a phone call for somebody wants an appointment with a nurse, but we said we're not taking appointments for you, Josie. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So if anyone's trying to phone in to get an appointment with Josie, I'm first in line, then it's Jimmy director, and then that's it. We're closing the surgery. Call back tomorrow.
So you can see there that that's a really weird looking piece of fabric that you put on there.
Yeah.
But you then need to put on, and I'll just do a little piece now so that you can see how this goes.
It makes sense.
So let's use one of the small pieces in the pack. This is what they're for.
Yeah, because there's a variety of sizes. Now, with the variety of sizes that we get in the pack, will it be obvious what they're for, or do we just choose?
You choose. There is more than enough
Lovely.
for you to have a huge choice. What colour do we fancy?
What we got?
Purple. Purple?
Yes, purple will do.
Purpley, lilac-y.
Yes, purple fish.
Is that too close? Have the darker purple one. Darker purple. So again, we put it behind.
Okay.
And go back to the machine. And this is just a little one, so it'll be quick.
Okay.
Now you can see that the sea anemone. Sea anemone?
I think it's, yeah, sea anemone.
Sea anemone.
Sea anemone. It's not an enema, is it?
You can use lots of different colours for that. You could even piece some pieces together first and then put them underneath and use up all the tiny little bits, because I've got a little tub of bits here that were left over from one of the other quilts.
And that's why you should never throw out any of your fabrics, especially the batik fabrics, because even a tiny square, like a couple of centimetres, still gives you a beautiful pattern and a lovely design and gives you that pop in any kind of project that you're working with. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's brilliant. Okay, so I've stitched around there, turn it over, and it's overlapped, but you're just going to trim that little bit off.
Now, if you don't have applique scissors, you can still cut it. You don't have to go out and buy them. They are beneficial, but if you don't have them,
just fold it back. And we'll do this one with the ordinary scissors.
Okay.
You can't get quite as close, but it just means you widen your zigzag a little bit.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. As long as you're careful, you'll be fine. Do you know, I pity the poor camera operators. When I'm doing this, I'm kind of flapping around. And
Oh, wow.
there we go. So you can see there that that's starting to form the picture.
Yes.
And that's on the back of the stitch and tear. So when you fill that up,
Yep.
and then you want to fill in your background, you put a whole piece on, stitch all around it. I'm gonna cut this open now, a bit like a surprise something.
Look at that pattern. That is almost like, you look at that, that could be flying over the top of a forest.
Well,
or lots of peacocks all gathered together.
it's fine. So because I've stitched around some of the shapes on here, I have to put my hand over that bit, because this is the bit I made a mistake when I was making this one. I thought, I'm not wasting this. This is easy to fix. Happily stitching away and thought, these are on the wrong side.
Oh, I've just stitched it on the wrong side.
Those bits, yeah, but that's okay, because I knew that this was before it came
But that's okay.
But I left them on, and then I fixed the problem.
Excellent.
And that's on the inside.
Okay.
So that's okay. So what I'm going to do is open this up. You'll see in a minute how wonderfully I fixed it. I'm very impressed with myself.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Do you know, what a risk this is, cutting it open live.
I know. So you've not seen this?
Nope, I haven't seen it at all.
It seems a shame that you're cutting that fabric, but
Well, I'm going to reuse that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste that. That's going to be part of something else.
Do you know what this reminds me of? An advent calendar. You know, when you know what's behind it when you open it up.
This is better than chocolates.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love a good advent calendar.
Do you know, this is quite sad, but I didn't ever have a chocolate one when I was a kid. We had little cardboard ones with pictures behind them.
I didn't have. We only had the one at school. Never had an advent calendar at home.
We had. This sounds even sadder. We had the same one every year. But we loved it. It was fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I always pulled the short straw. I always got to open 26.
Oh,
that.
Wow. So you open it up like pull it apart like a packet of crisps. Keep going. Scissors inside. Oh, this is quite exciting because I don't know what's under here.
I know, it's
because
exciting.
I did it the other way around.
Hope nobody swapped it mid-show.
Well, do you know what happened actually mid-show? I'm going to say you're going to be partially responsible for this little accident. Because,
don't tell management.
Well, you know, when you were having a show, there was earlier this afternoon, there was another Josie here.
There was another Josie here.
And every time you said Josie,
yes,
I looked up.
Did you?
And got distracted. Which, you know, fair enough, really, saying Josie. And then you got the giggles then.
Yeah, I did.
You
but
did.
that was all that Josie's fault. It's
Okay.
always a Josie's fault.
It is always Josie's
Yes.
fault. Can you
Always
see how
blame it on a Josie.
I've heard that before as well. So you can see how this is starting to form the garden.
And you've got all of that, the green fabric is going to be in the background.
It's all going to be the background.
That
So
looks
essentially you do the smallest pieces first, build it out. Now on the pattern, just while I'm cutting this, you'll see that this is some of the shapes. You don't have to do all of the lines.
No.
So if you...
Do you want me to get the pattern? Let me just find the garden pattern for you. Lots of people are going for just the pattern pick and mix.
Brilliant.
Maybe you've got your own fabric, that's absolutely fine. Let me just bring up the garden. So this is the garden, there you go, pattern just there. If I lean that forward, there you go, you can see
so
that
you'll
now.
see that on the largest flower at the top, there are some lines bisecting it, some curved lines. And now if you wanted to, you could do a kind of a checker pattern. And I'd started to do it on this side, but then, because we're going to stitch over the top over here, I didn't continue it, because I thought I like to vary this a little bit. I like to make it a bit arty.
Bit funky.
Yep, and I've done the same with this one as well, so some of them. And each flower that you do will be slightly different. So this has got one of the bisecting lines, and they're still there on the other side. So when I'm quilting, I can still use them, or I could use the lead to continue those lines.
And this isn't a one-time pattern. We can make more from them, can't we?
You can use these over and over, These are very robust.
And if I wanted to make these and sell the product that I'm making, like a bag or a quilt or a cushion or a wall hanging,
at all.
Is that okay?
Absolutely fine. You've made it, it's yours, you sell it.
Excellent.
Absolutely lovely. So there, I've got some of those already done. So I think I'm going to go on to show you how to cover the stitches. Do you want me to do that now?
I'll tell you what, can I do a quick recap of
Absolutely.
everything for everyone at home? Because we are aware that people are joining us at all kinds of different times. So I'll do a recap and then we'll get set up for the next demo.
Brilliant.
Sounds like a plan, Stan. Right, so your complete batik wall art is fabulous. You've got 4 different patterns. You get with each pattern a whole selection of batik fabrics. You'll get instructions for the pattern as well. Easy to follow step by step. So you've got the C, you've got the city, you've got the B, and you've got the garden as well. You can use these as many times as you like, maybe with some more fabric that you've got at home, but you do get a whole range of batiks. And you know what? There's no rules. When you get your packs through, maybe the pack that comes with the city you could use for the B. You choose, you decide, but the colours are in there. They are various colours within them. So do pick and mix when you're going through them. And talking to pick and mix, you can have a pick and mix on just the patterns if you wish, or you can go for just 2 of the patterns, any 2. So pick and mix on the patterns on their own, pick and mix on the patterns with the fabric, or you can go for all 4, saving £10, and divide the payment into 2 monthly payments. That's the best value. Talking of value, let's talk about quilts. Now, this is something we focused on last night at 7 o'clock. You can go and have a look at that show again. We were very, very busy. The effect, the overall effect of this quilt, the hover quilt, is amazing. I was over the other side of the studio when they were setting up the show yesterday, and myself and the guests, we were just looking over going, my days, that's striking. It really is. Isn't it amazing what you can make from fabric and different shading as well? It really, really is. Absolutely stunning. With this, 70 inches by 70 inches, that is the pattern on the quilt, what we'll make and create. If you want to go for the kit, it's 2 payments of £36. What do we get in the kit, Josie?
So you get the whole quilt top. All of the pieces for the quilt top are pre-cut to size, so you don't have to do any cutting at all. You also get, so you get the borders as well as the small pieces. So you're going to get the pre-cut colourful squares, the little white squares, the little strips, instructions, and a little organza bag to put it all in.
Perfect, and a little clip as well to keep it all
Absolutely.
nice and neat.
All
we
the
like
patterns
that.
come with little clips.
We like that. You can use that organza bag again if you want to. What a wonderful project for you. £71.99, and I love the colours. It's the rainbow colours, so on trend. It will never ever go off trend either. Rainbows are beautiful. Do you know, I saw an evening rainbow the other night as the sun was setting. It was incredible. I had the sun setting from one window, and then out the other window there was an evening rainbow. It looked amazing. So always a joy to see those colours together. 326870 is your item number. 2 payments of £36. Now, if you want to add the finishing kit, you can do. This is the finishing kit for you, and this is going to give you the backdrop to that wonderful quilt. And you also have your 3,000 yards of the rainbow thread. You saw that in a design with the satin stitching. It just looks incredible when you start to use this, and your little organza bag to boot as well. 2 payments of £32.25 for your finishing kit, should I say. It's a good sized piece of batik fabric, and that is the rainbow thread at work. Doesn't it look amazing? It really, really does. If you want to add that to your quilt kit, you can do, because you can still divide the cost into 2 payments, so everything all together if you wish. And you can see there you've got the batik, but this is for the backing of the quilt.
It's the backing, and you also get the binding strips for the edge. They're pre-cut binding strips as well.
Perfect, yeah. And it's always handy, isn't it, when it's pre-cut for you. So that's the binding for the edges. 256492 is your item number. That could be an heirloom for you. It's absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful gift for somebody that's getting married, maybe their first home, someone's moving home. It's just fantastic, it really is. Now, if you want to go for the wadding, maybe you don't have any wadding, we've got some for you, just right for the quilting question. It's 80 by 80, so super soft it really is, just £21.99. You're saving £3 on that deal. It's really nice, isn't it, to get some decent wadding. It really is super, super soft. 80 inches by 80 inches, just £21.99, saving £3 on that deal. 199224 is your item number. We've got some rules for you on the show, and these are going to help you build up your design. So tell us about the rules that we've got here.
So the 2 rulers that, well, actually there's a little piece, I don't know where it's gone. It's on the floor somewhere. There's a little circle as well that's gone. But the 2 rulers are essentially...
I think you borrowed it last night.
I did. I'll put it back.
That's all right.
I promise.
But there is a little circle.
But it's all right.
I've
got lots of them. So
Josie won't borrow yours.
It's fine. And so they are called the ripple rulers, and there's a tall ripple ruler and just a ripple ruler. So over my shoulder on, I can't do back to front, left and right, that one there.
Yes.
That is the tall ripple ruler, and which is excellent for things like table runners, borders, all sorts of long, thin things that you want to make.
Love that.
The other one makes a shorter version of the same thing, and it just means you've got some versatility. So you could put them both in the same quilt. So you could make a strip of the ripple ruler and a strip of the tall ripple ruler and put them all together. They do form some different shapes that have sort of cones that slot inside one another. You can make a book from them, a book
yeah, that's a good, I was just looking at that.
Things.
Yeah, it would make an amazing soft book. And also little, I was just looking at the pattern there, little pockets.
Oh yeah.
So it could be like, you know, an organiser in your craft room, and you, on each one you could put a little pocket in there and hang it on the back of your door. They were really big when I was younger. Like
I've still got
things.
One.
Have you?
I've had it a long time now.
Oh, do you know what? It's just absolutely beautiful. And then there's lots of patterns that you can make with that. £24.98, that's for both. You've got a saving of £3 on that. 103299 is your item number. Right, we've got to pick a mix for you next. Oh, these are sensational. And these are cotton, 100% cotton. And you've got a nice ombre effect. And these are ½ metre. Now, shall I open this one out, our Jimmy director, just to show you the ombre effect, if I may, because it's always nice to see ombre, ombre. This is the charcoal. Which way do you want it, Jim? Do you want it like that way? Jimmy wants it laid down like that. That's fine. What Jimmy wants, Jimmy gets. Now, these are lovely. What an effect these are, Josie. Aren't they?
I mean, you could use those for some of the patterns that we've got here now as well, because within that one piece of fabric, you've got so much variation. You could even just cut it up and stitch it back together, and whatever you end up with is going to be a great design.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's what a wonderful idea, and I really like the scattered pieces of almost confetti. So if you're making anything for weddings,
a little bit of sparkle there. So I've made, I love it. I made a round quilt with some of this actually.
Did you? A round quilt?
A round quilt, and I used one of those sort of like a wedge ruler, so and alternated it as I went around, and so you got a dark piece in the middle and then a light piece in the middle. And if you can imagine how,
wow!
I'll put a photograph on Facebook.
A round quilt, do you know what? A round quilt would be brilliant. Because you know, sometimes you move around in bed and sometimes you wake up and you're down the bottom of the bed and out the side, well, you do if you've got a Jack Russell Terrier that sleeps with you. You're all over the place because they have priority. That would be fantastic.
That's great for, I mean, you could even make it like a tree skirt with it, that kind of things.
Good idea.
Just, you know, an armchair quilt.
Oh,
that's what we like.
Well, that'd be nice. Right, let's go through the colours for you. So that was the charcoal confetti. Then you've got your silver confetti. You've got underneath there your yellow confetti, again with that lovely ombre effect. So that goes into a nice orange colour, almost like a sunset. Then you've got the orange confetti. You've got the blue confetti. I like that. And I like the pink. That is stunning. Pink confetti is lovely. Now that is a really nice one. That's like a lime colour, isn't it? Is that the green? Yeah, green confetti, which goes down into the yellow. So if you come up here, oh, Jimmy Jim, yeah, you've got the green at the top. So this is the focus colour, then it goes down into the ombre. Right, and then you've got your yellow bubble, like that. And then you've got your orange bubble. Again, can you see those darker elements in there? That's really nice. And then you've got your red fish, nice for cutting up. That'll make a nice lining.
It would, and actually it would, because I always think that the back of a quilt is quite nice too. So if you were doing something like the seascape, you could put the fish on the back.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. And then you've got your black fish, very effective, like that one. Then you've got, wow, look at that waterways. That's stunning. That's stunning. Then you've got an orange wiggle. Really like the design of this. Can you see the little dots in there as well? Love that. And then you've got your black bubble, which is a nice white space on there. And then the final one, can I open this up? Because this is incredible. Let's have a look at this. Is Aztec inspired. Wow, this is amazing,
I love
Josie.
all that. There's so many different colours in it that would work with any of the other fabrics. So because when you lay that across the batiks,
yeah,
I think sometimes the more colours you have in something, the more choice you've got to put, because it will always pull out that little bit of colour. So the turquoisey blues, the yellow,
it's just amazing. I've got a painting at home. It's got all these colours in. So for a cushion, for the dining chair, would look brilliant.
It would go in any room because it's got every colour in
this. My days. So size-wise, it's 1/2 metre. So I would probably need 2 of these together with maybe a bit of a, or if I'm going for 2 of the same, would it come as a continuous cut?
If it's, yes, that can, yes. So the only ones that can't are the ombres. The others can all come as a continuous.
So that makes sense. I mean, that would be a great little project for me, because all I'd need to do is probably turn it like that, and then that would go all the way along the table. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Great, wouldn't it?
Can you knock one up for me, Josie?
Sure. I'll just check your bag before you leave, though, just to make sure.
That's extraordinary. That is fantastic. So that's your cotton pick and mix, $20.99. Choose any 3. Choose any 3. Wow. Right, then we've got the batik pick and mix, and this is a different item number. So we're going from here all the way along here. So these are your batiks. So let's see if we can get these colours for you. You've got your orange yellow, really nice effect with that, almost like a marbly effect. Then you've got your yellow, again still with that marbly style effect. This is a great one. Look at your turquoise tooth. That's fabulous.
Don't you think that looks like little teeth, like little dragon teeth? can just...
It does. Oh, I like that. Or like a scaly skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Next one is your orange, yellow and green. That could be like a tropical garden, and then you could just add some embroidery to that, like a secret garden.
Absolutely. These fabrics here would work. I mean, I thought I'd use that on for the background, but I haven't. But they would work really well with all of these patterns and all of them.
They certainly would. Next up, you've got your bright green. Then you've got, ooh, turquoise. Can I get this one out?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one. I know I'm making a bit of a mess. Sorry. Then let's have a look at this, because you know lots of people make pictures now with fabric, cut them up, and then they start to strip them all together.
So we've got silhouettes. We can silhouette suns and...
Actually, there's no right or wrong side to these batiks, no.
Goes all the way through because
look at that. Now, if that doesn't say beach time.
Beach, absolutely.
That's incredible. Wow. That would make a nice little skirt or sarong, I think, for the summer.
Yeah. It wouldn't fit me, but yes.
Shut up. You'd look fantastic in that.
I would look fantastic, but it still wouldn't fit me.
Right, your next one, you've got, we got the lilac, so again, a nice marble effect. Oh my days, have you seen that?
There are oranges and things in that.
That is
gorgeous. You can pick out little bits of orange and other colours. I mean, I think it sings.
Look at that. That is incredible. In fact, if we all listen, whatever you're doing at home, tell the kids to be quiet, tell the dogs just to be quiet. Just don't turn down the TV. But let's see if it's singing. You ready? Hello, everybody, I love you.
It was really in tune as well. It was great.
That was singing. Perfect. If you have just joined us, don't worry, everything is fine. Right, oh my goodness, look at this orange tooth. That's remarkable, isn't it? I love the grey in that.
Orange is my favourite colour, and grey goes with everything.
Yeah, it certainly does. That's stunning. Next one, which will go perfectly with your orange tooth, is your orange. That's a nice marble effect. Then we've got, oh my days, look at that. Purple tiger. Row.
Absolutely.
Love that. Next up, oh, I like this one. I like your orange swirl. Very nice. Beautiful.
Do you know, I like a swirl because you can put it in things like, you know, if you're doing a applique, you can put hair and things on, or just in the middle of, actually I've got one in the middle of this swirl on the garden thing. There's a little swirl there.
Do you know what? I think that will make a nice cravat.
Of course it would.
Yes, it would. It's almost like a paisley pattern. You could imagine a nice cravat, maybe, you know, get at a wedding, you know, and then, I'm sorry, I'm just fashioning a cravat. See? Watch my microphone. Little cravat, don't you think?
Yes, yes, Janice, yes, absolutely.
Right, oh, look at that marble. It's like a smoky purple, isn't it?
It is. I would wear that.
That's beautiful.
I would wear that happily.
Yeah,
I think
that would suit you.
Yeah, that's one of my...
would absolutely.
And there's a kind of a navy in there as well that you could wear.
What would you make out of that? Would you make a top, dress, shirt, skirt?
Skirt. I think I suit bolder patterns and things at the bottom rather than the top.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Love that. Oh my days. That's your earth. I'm going to open this one out, sorry. This is your earth landscape. This is like sedimentation that we learnt in science.
Yes.
Sedimentation, geology, all of the layers building up. That is incredible. That really is incredible. That's like the inside of the earth, just split into two.
Do you know what I see? I see, whenever I see that one, I see great big tree trunks and forests.
Yes, look at that.
Isn't it?
And where is it? I can see there, that's a little goat. Can you see that? There's little ears. There's a little goat hiding
Somebody
in the
needs
forest.
to make a quilt and put a little goat in it for Janice now.
That's amazing. So it's all the different shapes and colours that you see.
People see all kinds of things in it, don't you? You see what you see.
That's all we can see now. Each one will be different. Right, sorry about the mess, everybody. The next one is the crimson. That is just beautiful.
I love this. Yeah. And it's never too early to talk about Christmas. So that would be fabulous. Can you see a kind of a...
I think that colour would suit you as well.
I think if it wasn't right, well, to be honest, yes, it probably would now because my hair's faded. It's not as red as it used to be. Yes, it probably would.
No, it's nice. It's nice.
I love a good faded ginger. It's good.
Oh my God, these are just gorgeous. I'm gonna open this one up as well. And again, Lewis, I'm so sorry about the mess I'm making. Lewis is the floor manager and he's just looking like that. But he says it's okay because he loves fabric as well. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That reminds me of a pattern, and I never remember the name of it. It's from the 1960s, 70s. Used to have them on tables. Oh, I can never remember the name of the pattern. And I say it every time, and really I should try and remember. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of. I do like that. Do like that. Beautiful. And then the final one is the purple plant, and I'm going to open this one up because I've opened most of them up now. It's nice to see the fabrics, isn't it? This is absolutely spectacular. Look at that. Now, yeah, you've got your flowers in there. That's a piece of artwork ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the combination of sort of the foresty one with the plants and the, you know, you just make all sides. Whatever you put together, it's going to work because batik works with batik.
Love that. And remember, you can use your batiks for any of your soft crafts, but you can also use it maybe for a journal cover. It would look absolutely sensational. Do like that one. Isn't that lovely? I might put that in my hair. Right, let's head back to Josie for some more demonstrations.
Right, I'm going to very quickly work through this. So, I've got some lead here that I've made, which is the bias and the steam machine put together, ironed together, and I'm just going to show you how to put this on. So you steam it on, put it together, iron it together, and over the little shapes. I'm going to iron onto my cutting board, which is very naughty, but that's okay.
Okay.
So that's one way of covering the edges. That's very quick. And that's how I got to do the city and the edges of the flower with the bee as well.
Perfect, yeah. The city, it looks stunning with that black.
The black is just a really good outline.
Yeah.
With this one as well, I'm just going to show you the back. So we've got longer lines here as well. So you can either use these lines to quilt through the whole thing or stitch through them and then follow those with the black lead as well. And it breaks it up and it looks more like a stained glass window.
Yeah, it's a great effect, isn't it?
The other one is the satin stitch. So I'm just going to demonstrate it a little bit down there. And so I've put it on, there we go. And when you're using something like this, use the right foot. Because if you don't use the right foot, if you use a 1/4 inch foot, you snap your needle and then there's crying.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want that.
And you don't want that. So I'm just going to go side to side over the edge, because I just want to show you how this lovely fabric goes with any kind of thread that you use.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Now, isn't that just, because it's stretched out, but when it's close together like that, you just get this little concertina rainbow like that.
Do you know what? That's a great detail in itself.
It's just
using
lovely.
the thread with that stitch. It could be around a cuff or around a collar, for example.
Well, when you use it around the edge of the bee, I think it makes the bee look slightly like it's moving a little bit.
Oh, wow.
You know, that kind of vibration slightly. So that's why I've put it around the bee and not around the flowers. To give it that kind of hovering effect around the outside.
Yeah, it does. Because you've got the zigzag in there.
Yeah, it's that little kind of bit of movement, broken up movement.
That's very clever. It's well thought out, but that just looks stunning, doesn't it? Oh, I really like this thread.
I really quickly want to show you something else as well. This is why I'm talking very quickly. So the quilt pattern that's behind me, rather than, I'm not going to go through the sizes, but the technique, because I'm just looking at the clock. So I've got 2 of the strips from the bundle, and I've actually chopped them in half so that we can get a bit of, you don't need the whole length for this. Put them face to face, folded them over, and I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch from the fold on either side.
Okay.
So actually I'm going to use I'm just going to use the edge of my foot. Oh, get rid of the zigzag. Straight stitch, okay. All the way down the middle. Because I want to show you how to make the twist that's in the middle of the quilt.
Okay.
Because it's such fun Oh, do you know what? If I lengthen the stitch, it'll go faster.
And that's the quilt that's behind you.
Yes.
And we also have that available in a kit.
Yes, so that's the
with
kit.
the pattern, so that you can make and create the quilt something a little bit different with the twist that we're doing now in the demonstration. So that's the kit. Those are the details. 843880. Oh no, sorry. We'll bring up the details for this kit, Josie. There you go. So this is your strips and your block quilt, and this is what we're taking a look at now. £55.99, 768428 is your item number for that. So it's a great price, but also a great technique that Josie's showing you now to get that twist in the middle, which I guess, Josie, you could add to other projects.
Yes, you can use the pattern on a different fabric if you want to. You can use the fabric for a different project if you want to. You don't have to stick to the same thing. So I'm going to just, this is called racing. There we go.
Brilliant. So just one stitch each side. Well, when I say one stitch, stitching it down each side.
One row of stitching each side. I'm going to cut it in half, up the middle.
Okay.
And I folded it over just because I haven't got a lot of space to work in.
Okay.
Not because of any special technique or... Okay, and then I'm only going to do one of them because otherwise we'll run out of time. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to fold the big block in half because I'm going to put this pleat down the middle rather than down, and then I'm going to iron it. Please don't tell anybody I was ironing on this cutting mat. I'll be in such trouble. And so down the middle. So this piece here has to be opened out and turned around. Like that. So the best way to do that is to press it, unfortunately. And then press it open. And then press it back on itself. And this is the perfect amount of twist in this kind of quilt. Okay. There we go. So that the seam is down the outer edge like that. Okay. Now, if you want to put these together with different sized pieces, you can. You can cut this if you want to. I've done it both ways. I tried it to see which was easier. And folding it is a lot easier rather than cutting it out and having it separately. These will be slightly too long, but that's okay. That's what you want. This is what you'll end up with, spare little bits at the edge, and you'll use them up in some other projects. When you say you can cut it, do you mean cut into it so it's like frayed? Well, that would look nice. Well, it could, but it could. That wasn't really what I meant. What I meant was if you wanted a different piece there, so if you wanted to have a plain piece, or one of the lime green batik or something like that to go with it, you could cut it down the middle and you do this with two pieces instead of one folded piece. So then I'm going to put the open edges into the fold, fold it over, and I'm going to just use a couple of pins. I wasn't using pins all the way through it. Yeah. But I think because I'm live on air, I think I will. I've been there before and gone, oh no, it's moved. Now, we've got a couple of minutes left on the show, everyone. If you do want any of the items, yes, you can still buy after the hour, but it's a good idea to get your baskets checked out now, because usually what happens, everybody at the end of the show, after the end of the demonstration, starts to check out. So we don't want you to miss out. So press those buttons now so you can check out your baskets. Make sure you get what you want from these fabulous kits that we've got available for you from Funkyneedlework. Absolutely vibrant and beautiful fabrics, and I know you're going to absolutely adore them when you get them home and think about all the different projects that you can use them for, or go for your project packs. We've got lots of choice, lots of variety. Whether you want the packs, whether you want just the patterns, or whether you want the fabric, it's all there for you. You can head to the website and have a look at that. Don't forget you've got that marvellous quilt as well, and you've got your ripple rulers, which give you a fabulous effect. They really, really do. There are items that we didn't get a chance to see on the show, but they are there on the website for you to peruse and buy, and those are your patterns there at $18.99. Right, back to Josie. So I have very quickly just stitched down that fold line, and then I'm going to open it up, and I'm not going to trim it yet. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to stitch across this way with the orange on the outside, just along the end. And this is a little tip. So when you're trimming your blocks after you've done this, make sure you don't trim this bit off, because you have to trim. You always have to trim your blocks, even with pre-cuts, once you put them together, because Not
Just
every
get
block
them
that
even.
well, yeah, not every block that you make is going to be exactly the same.
True.
So I've got it folded over that way at this end, and at the other end, I'm going to twist it and put it this way. And I've tried this with shorter pieces, I've tried it with longer pieces. This is just about the right
length to do it.
The right length to do it, I suppose. I think that's why I quite like the pattern.
It's a nice effect. Do you know what? It looked nice on cushions as well.
Yeah, it would actually, because if you were sitting hugging a cushion,
yeah,
you can sit and
you
play with
it.
Yeah, just play with that like that. And then once you've done that, then you can cut the end off.
Okay.
And I cut it from the back so that you can see exactly where you're cutting. Huge. And that is how you do that one. And then you join your blocks up the way you would with any other.
Perfect, look at that.
Can I give you one more little tip?
Yes, please.
And so the one more little tip is, on the back, put a couple of little cuts, because this is almost like a French seam.
Yep.
But put a couple of little cuts just to help it lie a little bit flatter towards the stitching, but not quite all the way through. And just when it's ironed then, I can't iron it properly because I haven't got my iron. Some of it will go one way and some of it will go the other.
And that helps it go
that
flat.
helps it flat. Yeah.
Look at that. Great tip. Love that. It's such a different effect, isn't it, to add detail, like the quilt behind Josie. Or if you imagine that quilt all broken down into its blocks, imagine those maybe as cushions.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got that lovely effect going on the quilt, but each block could then be a cushion with that effect on. Just it's something a little bit different.
So you could have one of the blocks with strips around the outside to make it as big as you want to, really.
Yeah.
And another strip at the edge. You just got, the only thing you have to remember is that every time you put the fold in, it'll shrink a little bit in one direction.
Yes.
Which is why it's very important to have the right measurements.
Exactly, it certainly is. Mark, I absolutely adore that. And that fabric is sensational, isn't it? It is available in a kit. To make that quilt at that size, we will bring up the details for you in case you've been inspired to go for that. Beautiful coloured fabrics, and they all match so beautifully, don't they? £55.99, 768428. Comes with the pattern and your clips as well. That is a fabulous deal, isn't it? It really is. Right, Josie, when are you back? We've run out of time.
Not for a while, actually. I'm back at the end of July, beginning of August. There's an event that you're hosting.
Really?
Yes.
What, me personally?
Well, you might be.
I might be.
You might be. Could be.
Excited.
There's an event that you're hosting, and I'm going to be a part of that, and I'm really glad to be part of that.
Oh, I'm intrigued about. Of course, I know all about it. Of course, I do. We've had emails. It's all organised.
Of course it is. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say anything about it, but yeah.
Josie, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay where you are, though, guys. We've got more coming up.